Hello and welcome back to HateWatchers. Today we're wrapping up our weekly coverage of The Acolyte with our breakdown and review of the finale episode, Episode 8, entitled The Acolyte. Let's get right into the breakdown. Spoilers ahead. We begin with Osha moaning in the Darth Chuckles mask, and Qimir walks in on her and is like, "What are you doing to my mask?" Then she spazzes out and he drops to his knees as his eyes turn African American before Osha tells him that she knows where May is. Then they spend some time talking about how they're going to carpool. Master Squid has grown weary of May as they travel, as she keeps asking, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" Then Master Squid, having spent a few episodes being real creepy, gets too close to May and gets tased. May runs off, with the gopher 6 inches behind her butt crack as always, and Master Squid forgets he has the Force, allowing her to hop into an escape ship. Squid decides that following her is still more important than telling anyone about the Sith, but the gopher won't allow Squid to destroy May's sweet stench once and for all, and sabotages their ship. This sends the ship careening through Brendok's rings. May also loses control, not from any collision, but because the escape ship is made by Boeing. Padawan Stringbean runs up to Master Timewaster, screaming that there's a black guy in her room. This senator from planet Baltimore wants to defund the Jedi, blaming them for putting alien minorities in forced chokeholds at an alarming rate. Master Timewaster says, "Sorry, it's the last episode. We don't have any time for your storyline," and shows him the door. Osha and Qimir still haven't made it to the ship a quarter mile away, but then out of nowhere, Qimir asks Osha to prom. He says, "That's fine. I'll just ask your sister. She looks the same." On the beach, Darth Plagueis, master of the dark side and the accidental creator of Anakin Skywalker, lurks in a cave like a creep. Over on Brendok, Master Squid imagines he has a giant cheeseburger, but the gopher is confused as to why he can't smell it. Master Timewaster is on the phone verbally abusing a Chinese spam caller when Stringbean tells her that Master Squid has been located on Brendok. Osha wrongly assumes that Qimir is Asian and locks him out of the flying controls as they arrive on the planet. Squid looks around the empty, dilapidated former witch coven and yells, "Booze!" eliciting the hissing and jeering echoes of the long-dead witches. He comes to the place where he let May's stupid ass fall and has a nice chuckle remembering the good times, but he runs away before May crawls out of the gutter. Master Squid gets tired of looking for May and devises an evil plan to draw her out. So he screams the N-word, but Darth Chuckles is right behind him, saying,
"I heard what you said."
They draw their sabers and duel, but they pause the decent action for some wildly unnecessary slow-mo. Qimir screams the power of 2 before whipping out his second blade, but Squid disarms one of them, and then lightly applies his feet to Darth Chuckles' chest. Chuckles throws the sabers at Squid, but Squid says, "I do not consent," as he pushes away all 3, knocking down Qimir, who gets up saying,
Let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
Osha finds May in their old room, and May says, "Oh shit," and her sister says, "No, it's Osha." They argue about one of them having to go to prom with the loser Qimir before fighting, matching each other's every move and grunting with each swing like tennis lesbians. Cutting back to the actual action, both the duel and the sisters' catfight are interrupted by an arriving Jedi ship. Squid creates some sparks to make up for the 4th of July fireworks the two missed, before striking through Darth Chuckles' attack and destroying his saber. Qimir goes mask off, and Master Squid says, "Hold still, I want to boop you on the nose," when May walks in and steals his lightsaber, ready to confront the Jedi. But Qimir awkwardly interrupts this moment by asking May to prom.
No.
May confronts Squid about killing her mom, but he says there's no time. He's here to ask Osha to prom, which Osha overhears.
Is that true?
Squid says yes,
Because I love...
but Osha puts him in a forced chokehold for a change. Her fresh dark side nail polish gets all over the saber's crystal, and Squid forgives her as she says, "Witness the power of the fart side," squeezing out his last fart. And May's like, "Damn, that reeks of cuttlefish." Chuckles picks another bad time to try and ask Osha to prom again, and she says no means no, as her mood ring lightsaber tells us it might be her time of the month. Timewaster arrives with 15 red shirt Jedi, but she senses Qimir, who hides in his safe space, and she says, "Time for another lashing, boy." The gopher waddles up, and String Bean's like, "There you are, you little pervert." May and Osha flee and climb down the place that May fell all those years before, and into an old tunnel where May says, "Welcome to the Underground Railroad." The Jedi find a dead squid, and Master Time Waster tells the Jedi to search the area, but doesn't bother to tilt her head up 24 degrees and see Darth Chuckles. She sniffs Master Squid and tells him he smells like failure. And cuttlefish. She hears someone giggling and whips her head around, but there's no one there. The Jedi are hot on the twins' tail, giving the gopher a hefty sniff of a bag of May's underwear to help him track her down. May and Osha get to the urine tree and cry and hug and shit, and Darth Chuckles finds them and takes their lightsaber, saying, "One of you is going to prom with me." Osha says she'll go to prom with him as long as May is spared. The twins hug one last time and say their stupid little rhyme again, and Darth Chuckles wipes May's memory just to put an end to it. The Jedi arrive and arrest May for being a minority in public, and she's brought to Coruscant to meet with Master Time Waster. May can't remember anything and says she might be innocent, and Master Time Waster says, "Don't worry, together we'll come up with a crime." Master Time Waster, who for some inexplicable reason speaks for the entire Jedi Order, addresses the senators, where she pins everything on Master Squid. The senator from Baltimore says, "See? The Jedi are the reason everything's so corrupt around here," and all the politicians covered in gold and silk nod in agreement. Then we see Master Time Waster making charbroiled squid. She goes on to tell May that she needs to help the Jedi find 2 runaways who escaped on the Underground Railroad. Qimir shuffles closer to Osha and gives her lightsaber a reach around, then they hold hands as Qimir promises to teach her how to swim. Time Waster walks in on Yoda practicing the forbidden form with his little green lightsaber, and this episode and the season come to an end. But the elves don't stop coming. Stay tuned to the credits for more awful music to really leave things on the worst note possible. Well, we've reached that point in the video where we have to decide if this episode was a great watch or a hate watch. And just like this show, there's no mystery involved in our rating, as the finale earns this show's 6th consecutive hate watch. There's no good way to end a season that never should have been made in the first place, but even if there was, this wasn't it. This was such a weak cop-out of a finale. Oh, people are complaining about Plagueis and Yoda missing? Here's 2 seconds of them. People think this violates canon? Kill off the only decent character so the secret dies with him. Well, what about May? Let's just wipe her mind like a droid. Need an excuse for the Jedi to wrap up this investigation quickly and sloppily? Let's introduce a senator breathing down their neck at the 11th hour to speed things along. Need to explain away the death of 9 Jedi? Just have Master Time Waster wrap it all up with a bullshit testimony. Want to actually learn about her connection to Qimir, or his connection to Plagueis? Tune in to Season 2. Watch this show get a Season 2 while they keep Ewan and Hayden sitting around doing nothing in Star Wars. Just forget that the Jedi knew about the existence of a Dark Side Master that they openly discussed. Just forget that this fucking gopher knows everything, and somehow this creature helping the Jedi makes no mention of anything to anyone. Just ignore the fact that this show asks you to believe that the Sith's existence at this time is hidden only by the fact that a Jedi Master didn't bother to make a phone call any of the dozen times he could have. Why did the gopher turn against Sol but then help the Jedi? Who the fuck cares at this point? The Acolyte requires you to be as stupid as the creators are to accept any of this, and that is why they fail. And it still wouldn't make any sense even if we were that dumb. Time Waster knows her pupil turned to the dark side. She knows he was present during all of this. She knows Osha is missing, and with that pupil, she knows May's mind was wiped, and we have to assume that she tells all of this to Yoda. It's impossible to accept that the Jedi Council doesn't have any clue that there's a Sith-level dark side threat out there at this point in time. May kept up her flip-flopping ways, leaving her motives completely indecipherable right up to the moment they mind-wipe her. And the scene is handled in the clunkiest way possible. "Oh, what do we do, Osha?" "Oh, it's okay, I'll just be dark side." "'Kay, you sure?" I wish we could be mind-wiped and forget this shit ever existed. Osha became a dark side apprentice for no real reason, murdered Sol, her mentor for how many years, then still wanted to go to the Jedi after everything that happened. Master Sol was killed off just to cement her fall to the sexy dark side, before Time Waster turns around and shits all over his legacy, blaming him for literally everything, including murders that were committed while he was teaching at the temple on Coruscant. We're left with no likable character in this entire show. Who are we left to side with? The fucking gopher? Every character that survived this episode and this show is a dipshit. How do you expect people to enjoy this? What are we supposed to take away from this? That the Jedi are morons and we're supposed to root for the Dark Side power couple? And Plagueis, man. What a stupid way to introduce this monumental character to the live-action canon. He's just some creepy cave dweller here, and if you don't know the character beforehand, I can only imagine what kind of first impression this makes. Why wait until the finale to properly introduce the idea of a confrontational senator on a campaign against the Jedi? This is the type of thing everyone knows to introduce in episode 2 or 3 at the latest, so the conflict can build tension and drive the secondary storylines. This is just amateur hour, or amateur half hour with this show. The lightsabers still look wrong, the cores of the blades are way too dim, and the sad thing is that Disney does this to make the on-screen sabers look closer to the shit you can buy in their parks. It's a prime example of making your own art worse just to push your merchandise. And of course, like every other episode, there's no way this one cost $22.5 million. Luckily, that's the last time we have to ask this question that's become stupider and stupider to ask every week. This shitty finale was a fitting way to end the shittiest Star Wars story told to date. Let us pray for the Acolyte to fade into obscurity where it belongs, and for everyone involved to enjoy the unemployment line they deserve. Remember to stay tuned to the channel for the complete season review for the Acolyte, as well as a video of the funniest clips from this season, coming this weekend. How will you celebrate this travesty coming to an end? What possible reason can you think of for people to want to come back for a second season? Let us know in the comments. Also remember to leave a like on the video, and subscribe to HateWatchers to catch our final Acolyte videos of the season. Thank you for going to the Dark Side Prom with us today, and we'll catch you on the next one.